Welcome. In this video, we will discuss about how Australia has now decided to join the Malabar exercise. So India has extended the invitation to Australia and Australia has accepted it. So in this video, we will discuss about the background kind of causing the Australia to join the Malabar exercise, as well as other points like what is Malabar exercise. Then in this relation, we will also look into the matter of what quad is basically. So these are the few major area where we will discuss in this video. Let's begin. So the first thing that we need to know is that Australia has agreed to join the Malabar exercise, which is going to be held in November 2020. So thing you have to remember from your IR perspective, like for in your examination when you are writing answer about the relationship between India and Australia, you can also mention the point that the India has extended the invitation to Malabar exercise in 2020 and Australia agreed to it. So this is one thing you can mention in your IR answer. The 2020 exercise is expected to be held in Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. So where it is going to be held? It is going to be held in Indian Ocean. Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea are both part of Indian Ocean. And in the 2019, it was conducted at the coast of Japan, which is the Pacific Ocean. So what you could like kind of infer from this information is that Malabar exercise is conducted either in the Indian Ocean or in the Pacific Ocean. So this is also one of the inference you can make over here. Now, due to COVID-19 pandemic, the exercise had been planned in non-contact at sea format. So it's more along the line that there won't be any contact at the sea. It's like the exercise will be held but maintaining the proper protocol. So that is also a new thing which has been added because of the present COVID-19 pandemic. What is the objective of this particular exercise? It is to enhance the safety and security in the maritime domain. So if you could just see whether in the Indian Ocean or in the Pacific Ocean, the whole idea is to enhance the safety as well as security in the overall maritime domain. So that is one thing you need to know. Now let's quickly understand what Malabar exercise is all about. So it is an annual trilateral naval exercise. Remember what kind of exercise it is? It is a naval exercise. We also have Army and Air Force exercise. Malabar is a naval exercise which is conducted between three countries, which include your India, Japan and USA. And in 2020 even Australia will also participate. So this is the major thing you need to know. And an interesting thing for you to know is that it actually started with only India and USA in 1992. So in 1992 it was only India and USA which were like part of it. Then later in 2015, not very like in the past, in fact during the protocol or during the time of the present Prime Minister only, Japan was also included in the Malabar exercise. The exercise aimed to support free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. So that is the major goal, that the Indian Ocean as well as the Pacific Ocean, so the whole Indo-Pacific region should become free, open and inclusive. So that is the idea behind the Malabar exercise. And it is committed to the rules-based international order. So this is also something which has been highlighted by the Prime Minister of India even in East Asian Summit, where he mentioned that India will follow the rule of law. And it kind of urged the every nation within the Indo-Pacific region to specifically focus on the idea of rule of law, because we have very frequently seen that how China go ahead and do not follow the judgments of UN clause for an example. So this is why it is important. Malabar exercise also aim to have a rules-based international order. It also aimed at interoperability. So that is also one of the aim you need to remember in terms of Malabar exercise about the interoperability. What does that mean? That humanitarian assistance, surface war maneuvers, submarines warfare, counter-terrorist operation, gunnery training, area surveillance. So there should be interoperability there. Like one thing should not be capable of only handling one thing, but there should be different kind of operations that could be conducted by the cooperation among the naval forces of these countries. So this is the major idea behind the Malabar exercise. Now let's move forward and see what Australia inclusion means. So the issue of Australia inclusion in Malabar had again came up for discussion at the Quad Foreign Minister in Tokyo in 2020. So if you remember, the Quad meeting was held in 2020, where the Foreign Minister of India has gone to Tokyo, and there was conversation there itself that Australia should be included in the Malabar exercise was like mooted. Therefore, India invited Australia to join the exercise. Now, what is Quad? We will look into that in detail. But Quad is an informal strategic dialogue. So just remember, it is not any formal forum or it is not any organization. It is an informal strategic dialogue between India, USA, Japan, and Australia. So these four countries are the one who are the like Quad. So Quad basically means the four countries quadrilateral. So this is how the whole system of Quad has been into picture. We will discuss little bit in detail in the next slide. So what is the move regarding the Australia inclusion? So the move will bolster the ability of India, Australia, Japan and United States to work together to uphold peace and stability across the Indo-Pacific region. So inclusion of Australia kind of consolidate the whole purpose of Malabar exercise. That's the major thing that you need to know. It is also expected to further lay the foundation for the eventual formalization of Quad grouping. Just like a few minutes before, I have told that Quad right now is an informal grouping. But if we are having formal kind of a military exercises, it could eventually lead to the formalization of Quad itself. So that is also considered as one of the speculation which could come out if Australia is also participating in the Malabar exercise. So these are the major things. Now, let's try to understand about Quad. So the idea of Quad was first mooted by the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in 2007. So now he is not, he's like the ex-Prime Minister of Japan. He mooted the idea of Quad way back in 2007. It's like almost 13 years back. He kind of came forward and talked about the idea that these four countries should come up forward to maintain a more open, inclusive and free Indo-Pacific region. However, the idea could not move ahead with Australia pulling out of it, apparently due to Chinese pressure. So, Australia was not very much into that particular idea because of the Chinese pressure. That is more of a speculation. Again, in December 2012, Shinzo Abe floated the concept of Asia as Democratic Security Diamond. So, again, here he changed the name kind of it, calling it as a diamond, again with the four like edges. So he again talked about that, calling it as a democratic security diamond involving Australia, India, Japan and US to safeguard the maritime common from the Indian Ocean to the Western Pacific. So the idea was more or less the same as Quad, but he kind of changed the name to call it as democratic security diamond. Then in 2017, in November of 2017, India, US, Australia and Japan gave shape to the long pending Quad coalition to develop a new strategy to keep the critical sea routes in the Indo-Pacific free of any influence, especially of China. So what happened? From 2017 onwards, China has been following the aggressive policy within the Indo-Pacific region, and in order to like kind of counter it and to make it more free and open region, these countries came together and kind of put a shape to the idea of Quad. So this is the basic background that you need to know. The countries which are associated with it, what are its background, how it came into the picture, and is it a formal or informal group. So right now just remember it is an informal group. In future you need to update your information regarding that, and in future there is a possibility that it becomes a formal group. So just keep on updating. So I hope you have understood this video. If you have any doubt, feel free to drop a comment. Thank you.